This lesson is on controlling blood glucose level. So the title today is Controlling Blood Glucose. Our objectives are that we should be able to name the two hormones responsible for controlling blood glucose level, describe the role of the pancreas in controlling blood glucose level, describe the role of the liver in maintaining blood glucose level, and draw a diagram to show the homeostasis of glucose in the blood. So we should write our notes in the Cornell note-taking system with our objectives on the left and answers to those objectives in our notes on the right. Then at the end, summarize what you've learned in your own words. So the pancreas produces two hormones, insulin and glucagon. These are responsible for controlling the blood glucose level. So if the blood glucose level gets too high, the pancreas produces insulin in order to lower the blood glucose level. Then, if the blood glucose level becomes too low, the pancreas produces glucagon in order to raise the blood glucose level. Meanwhile, the liver responds to those hormones. So the liver is a target organ for the hormone insulin. When it receives insulin, it takes glucose from the blood and transforms it into glycogen. It also responds to glucagon, so it is the target organ for glucagon. In this case, it takes the glycogen that it was storing and transforms it back into glucose and puts it back into the blood. So, when the blood glucose level is too high, the pancreas detects this. As a result, it produces insulin. The insulin causes cells to take glucose out of the blood, and it also causes the liver to store glucose as glycogen. Meanwhile, if the blood glucose level becomes too low, the pancreas detects this and reacts by releasing glucagon. The glucagon causes glucose to be made from proteins and fat, and it also causes the liver to convert glycogen back into glucose. We can see the entire system as one big cycle. So if we start at the top left, the pancreas detects low blood glucose level. The pancreas releases glucagon. This then causes the blood glucose level to increase. But as a result, it gets too high. When it gets too high, the pancreas detects it and releases insulin, which then makes the blood glucose level lower. But when it gets too low, the pancreas then detects it and produces glucagon again. This is a cycle which repeatedly goes round. It only stops if there is some problem with the pancreas or with your ability to respond to insulin or glucagon. This is what is known as homeostasis. When the amount of glucose in the blood becomes too high, the body responds in order to lower it. When it then becomes too low, the body responds in order to raise it again. The reason that it becomes too high and becomes too low is because hormones are long-lasting and slow-acting. So if you have a high-sugar meal, your body will produce insulin in order to make sure that the blood glucose level stays low. But the problem is, after you've finished eating the sugary food, the body keeps producing insulin, and the insulin remains in the body for too long. This causes the blood glucose level to become too low, at which point you then have to produce glucagon to raise the blood glucose level again. This cycle repeats continuously.